market. I think MEP service is our part to handle. I mean, it's client will just want the space to be functional and as per what you said, उसको सुंदर लगना चाहिए.
के बोले सर ये एसी तो ऐसे नहीं लगेगा, कूलिंग नहीं आएगा. So we try to analyze the concept that the designer is working on basis of which we design the AC on the aesthetic point of view and functionality. तो हम लोग वैसे भी ध्यान में रखते ही हैं. That is our aesthetic approach.
Myself, Moiz Faziulla. I'm an interior designer and I have my firm which is called Studio M Design, and we have an experience of around 5 years of like we specialize more into commercial, residential and public spaces, and we have completed around 50 projects till now, all over Surat and Pan India. Mostly in Bombay, Delhi and other places. It was always my passion. I have my experience of around 15 years in this field, and during this 15 years I was very privileged to work under the renowned designers of India. It really helped me in my design approach, and also the way I do my creativity and all those stuff. Yeah, we were in the same school also. We both actually know each other from that age.
So when he started his own practice, there was one project of a high-end residential project where the living room, I'm talking about Babu Bhai. So the living room ka distance between the sofa and the grill was too large. I mean, it was too big. And client had asked him twice that, the distance is too far. Are you sure that this won't be an issue in cooling? So even he asked me once that, have you looked at it? And client was very adamant कि यार ये नहीं होगा, बहुत तकलीफ़ पड़ेगी. हमने 2-3 लोगों को बुलाया, 2-3 लोगों को पूछा, and at the end he told कि भाई सागर भाई ने बोला है हो जाएगा तो हो जाएगा. And touchwood till today the client is very happy and he has no complaints at all in his living room, particularly because 30-33 feet का gap and you're throwing air from one side to the other. It is always a challenge and we love challenges. That is where we came along well. कि भाई ठीक है.
It's not about AC, it's about, if I talk about all the MEP services, it's like that. I mean, I try to incorporate the MEP services from the very beginning. Design चालू करने से पहले we'll try to achieve, I mean, all the MEP services हम लोग उसको clear करेंगे, and then since all the MEP services are clear, so your functionality and your aesthetics can be handled, and we do a flexibility in our design so that later on थोड़ा कुछ changes हो तो that also can be incorporated and the initial vision can't be changed. I think better communication always helps, and yes, Sagar always, whatever technology comes like in the AC, the new technology, he always updates us with that. So that really helps us to do some different thing in our designing. So because whatever the updates are there, the updates are actually useful for our designing only. That's why the updates are there. So this updates, he keeps on updating us, and due to that only we are able to achieve the final design, I think, considering the functionality and the aesthetics as well.
So my approach on aesthetic is that I first, whenever I'm designing a space, so if there is a premium residential or an office, there's always a concept that somebody is working on. So I tend to take out the concept from the designer and Moiz bhai, that what is the concept that you are looking for, any particular design, element, any color palette, where you want the height, where you don't want the height. On that basis, I try to fit in the AC. See, what happens is, designers are working on a particular project since 6 months, 8 months. Post that 6 months, 8 months, construction shuru hota hai. And then the AC person comes. So, we do not have a habit that 14-15 महीने 18 महीने से कोई डिज़ाइनर काम कर रहा है and we आके बोले सर ये AC तो ऐसे नहीं लगेगा, कूलिंग नहीं आएगा. So, we try to analyze the concept that the designer is working on basis of which we design the AC on the aesthetic point of view and functionality. तो हम लोग वैसे भी ध्यान में रखते ही हैं. That is our aesthetic approach.
See, that's basically it's a combination of design style it's with functionality and also keeping the basic constraints जो अपने को face होता है, that is I think budget होता है, then there are timelines and everything. ये इस सब का combination होने के बाद the final product what we get is aesthetics, and then that aesthetics is according to, I mean considering the MAP services, वो अपने को how we have incorporated in our design, and that is the main thing. I mean AC लगा है या कोई भी MAP service है, but then it does not look bad. That is one thing. It just gels with the entire design. So that is the, I mean that is my perception of aesthetics. This is a house what we, I mean, we did it with scratch, the construction and the interiors as well. It's a very modern, contemporary house, and the clients also had a very, you know, they had a very subtle taste, and it's actually the main design what we had to design principle what we had to consider over here was the requirements of all the 3 floors. The house what you're looking at was same. I mean the requirements were same, but then we didn't want to look it like a apartment or something. So we if in the elevation or something we actually had the spaces cut out and everything, so that it actually when you look from outside it looks like a big villa. It doesn't look like an apartment or something. So that was a main challenge when we are designing this house, and then of course the clients were very good and they always accepted our approach towards the design and all. I think MEP service is our part to handle. I mean it's client will just want the space to be functional and as per what you said उसको सुंदर लगना चाहिए. We normally stand as a shield between the MEP and the clients, and we try to achieve the space functionally and aesthetically as well.
So the living room that you see behind us, we had little issue and little debate with the client. So initially we had planned an AC which was on the passage area, and then I thought myself that doing this thing won't signify and do justice to this space. It is such a huge space. Dropping the height or putting a cassette AC won't help. So we came up with the other option, and client was very particular कि भाई मुझे खर्चा ज़्यादा नहीं करना है. See, client is always with the budget. I mean from the day one where the project starts and day he ends, he is always stringent and he is right about it. But there are some factors to be kept in mind while building a home is functionality and aesthetics. So we have a master in blending both of them. So we try to explain him that the option that you are asking is cheaper, but it will kill your height of the living room. Plus it will also kill the aesthetic, because वो step ceiling करना, it does not feel right. So then we convinced with the other option to Moiz bhai, and he convinced to the client, and eventually as he said that I am the shield between the MEP and the client, and then eventually client agreed to that point, and that is how beautifully it turned out.
So after working with Jair, my perception towards AC has tremendously changed. I mean, I don't consider AC now like a functional necessity. I actually consider it as a integral part of my design now, because the way they have started blending the AC into my design, into my ceiling designs, into my furniture designs and all, I don't consider it as a separate system what we have to, I mean it just kinds of blend into my design, and that's how I think jointly we try to incorporate this thing.
You know, in our business there's always jiffy मतलब issues at site. So whenever I call him कि issue है, ठीक है अभी रहने दो, whenever we meet we will resolve and we will come to a point where even you don't have to compromise and even I don't have to compromise in the design. So he is like a bridge between the site issue and the design. So he blends it very well practically, and ऐसा भी नहीं है कि क्लाइंट को अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है. सो इवन क्लाइंट इज़ हैप्पी विद द रिजल्ट, इवन वी आर हैप्पी कि जो इशू हुआ है वो सॉल्व हो गया है. सो इन हिज प्रोजेक्ट वी यूजुअली डोंट हैव टू डील विद द स्पेस कि यार जगह ही नहीं है, वो मोइज भाई कुछ तो करो, इसमें कुछ तो जुगाड़ लगाओ. देयर इज़ नो जुगाड़, बिकॉज ही इज़ वर्किंग सिंस ईयर्स एंड ही हैज़ लॉट ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस. So asking for space in his project for AC is never been an issue. to be honest.
That's what I try to tell you. That I mean, he's also very flexible in doing that. I mean, I have worked with other consultants, other AC consultants as well. But then my comfort level with Sagar is such that, I mean, whatever restrictions, whatever challenges I have, he'll try to incorporate in that, and maybe I'll have to be convinced at some point, and maybe he'll have to be convinced at some point, and then we come to a final solution. And
So I know his requirements since beginning कि उनको क्या पसंद आएगा, उनको कहाँ पे हाइट देनी है, कहाँ पे हाइट नहीं देनी है, कहाँ पे हाइट खा जानी है.
we kind of share one interest very much. We both have a liking for shoes, so like especially sneakers, and so we both are into it. So normally when I call him, the first 2 minutes will be about the new pairs what we have got. So that is one interest we normally share, and yeah, and then the other part is always the AC what we'll discuss.
I would
later
say
on.
he has fallen into the trap. Then I'm since yours. Eventually.
Yeah.
Okay guys, we'll take a cut.